evening, I'm Peter Kent with this breaking news. In a strange turn of events on Parliament Hill, we've been informed by an inside source that Jason Kenney, the Parliamentary Secretary to the Prime Minister, is stepping down less than a year after assuming this important cabinet post. The 39-year-old Kenney, of course, no stranger to politics. He has represented the riding of Calgary Southeast in the Commons since his election in 1997. For more on the story, we take you to our political correspondent, Rick Magder, standing by in Toronto. Rick?
Thanks, Peter. It is indeed just that, a strange turn of events which has led to the Parliamentary Secretary's resignation. As you can appreciate, the story is very new and we're doing our best to gather as much information as we can. You may wonder why I'm standing here in front of NCSY. NCSY, which stands for the National Conference of Synagogue Youth, is a national Jewish outreach organization based here in Toronto. From inside sources, we can tell you this, that Jason Kenney is leaving his post on the Hill to take a job here in Toronto with NCSY. Peter?
Now, NCSY, Rick, isn't a political organization. From what I understand, its purpose is to take disaffiliated Jewish teens and reconnect them with their heritage. Why would Jason Kenney want to take a position there?
That's a great question, Peter. I'm not really sure myself. In fact, Jason Kenney is not Jewish. He actually graduated from the Alto Murray College of Notre Dame, a residential Catholic college located in Wilcox, Saskatchewan, and later did his undergraduate studies at the St. Ignatius Institute of the University of San Francisco, a private Roman Catholic university. Neither of these schools are particularly Jewish. I did, however, have a chance earlier today to talk with Rabbi Glenn Black, the director of NCSY, and I asked him why Jason Kenney is coming to work for his organization.
Well, it's simple. We put out an ad in the national papers looking to fill a vacant secretarial position. Jason applied, and I was very impressed with his resume. In fact, he's quite understated.
What did you find so impressive about him?
Well, he said that he can type 60 words a minute. I wasn't sure about that, so I invited him to my office. He typed 65 words a minute. Most of the other applicants could only type 16 or 17 words. He did make two small mistakes, though.
Really? What mistakes did he make?
Well, he misspelled gefilte fish and kishka.
How do you feel about Jason Kenney coming to work here for NCSY?
Jason Kenney, well, I'm not thrilled about it, that's for sure.
Well, why is that?
Well, the turnover rate here is crazy. Every week they're switching secretaries, and who do you think is going to have to train him? I am. How to use this photocopying machine, for example, or send press releases. I'm going to have to do that. I'm not really happy about it, to tell you the truth.
Well, I'm the fundraiser here at NCSY. When I heard that he's applying for job as secretary, I was very, very excited. I know he has great contacts in the fundraising business, and I even heard he has the private cell phone of Stephen Harper. Can't wait to get my hands on that.
I always do my shopping at JCPenney.
No. Jason Kenney. Jason Kenney. He's coming to work here at NCSY.
Oh, the secretary. Right. We need a new secretary. When is she starting?
It appears we've been unable to get any comment from Mr. Kenney other than this statement.
I still enjoy being the secretary. You know, in politics you can actually change the world, but you can't change it as much as working for NCSY.
It seems rather odd that he would take a position here in Toronto with NCSY and leave the position that he has in the Prime Minister's office.
I wasn't surprised at all. In fact, I figured that probably what attracted him most was the pay increase.
I'm sure when Jason Kenney came for his interview here at NCSY, he was on his best behavior because, as anyone knows, Jason Kenney is anything but soft-spoken.
Speaking of Bill C-2, it deals with the reform of party finance legislation. And so I'd like to ask that member whether she's going to propose an amendment to ban contributions to parties from children, Mr. Speaker, because this week her party found an innovation in party financing, raising $11,000 from a twin of 11-year-olds. That's the new Liberal Party financing strategy.
Now, Mr. Kenney's new position with the NCSY is a bit of a step down for the parliamentary secretary. Why is he doing it? Is there any indication of some sort of scandal on the Hill?
Well, Peter, there doesn't seem to be any indication of this. We're thinking that there are some serious emotional issues at play here. As you know, Jason Kenney is a member of the Conservative Party, but we just have to take a look at his history. In 1988, he served as the executive assistant to the leader of the Saskatchewan Liberal Party, and he was originally a member of the Reform Party of Canada. So, you know, this guy's all over the map. Clearly someone with a serious identity crisis. The consensus on the street seems to indicate that there is some validity to this, this particular theory. Are you familiar with Jason Kenney? Do you know who that is?
No, actually, name sounds familiar.
Do you know who Jason Kenney is?
No, I don't know.
Are you familiar with Jason Kenney? Do you know who that is?
No.
Do you know who Jason Kenney is? Well, how do you feel about the fact that he's leaving his position on the Hill?
Oh, that I didn't hear. I didn't know that.
Yeah, that's a...
Well, I want to wish him all the best. I mean, you know, I hope he... Do you know where he's going, what he's going to be doing?
He's actually going to be working for NCSY. Familiar with NCSY?
NCSY? The Jewish organization?
That's right.
Jewish Outreach Organization?
That's right.
That's not Rabbi Glenn Black, is it?
As strange as it sounds, Kenney will be sorely missed in Ottawa. He's been named one of Canada's 100 Leaders of the Future by Maclean's magazine, one of Canada's leading conservative activists by the Globe and Mail, and one of 21 Canadians to watch in the 21st century by the Financial Post magazine. One thing is for sure, NCSY is getting much more than they bargained for. I'm sure that by the time he starts, he will know how to spell Kishka. It's Chulent or gefilte fish that I think he'll have a much more difficult time with. For Global News, I'm Peter Kent. We now return you to your regularly scheduled program, already in progress.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I had the honor of being present on March 22nd when the League for Human Rights of B'nai B'rith Canada publicly released its 2005 audit of anti-Semitic incidents, an annual study on patterns of prejudice against Jews in this country. The audit is internationally recognized as the single most credible source on anti-Semitism in Canada. In total, 829 anti-Semitic incidents were reported to the League in 2005. This number marks the second highest total in the 23-year history of the audit. Since 2001, the total number of incidents has increased almost threefold in Canada. The explosion of hate on the internet, which amounts to a global invasion, is a priority concern also documented in the audit. Anti-Semitism has many faces. Its expressions are both subtle and overt, and no one segment of Canada's Jewish community is immune from it. After commemorating Yom HaShoah, the systematic slaughter of 6 million Jews in the Second World War, we must remember never to be complacent. And I join all of my colleagues and the government in recommitting ourselves to fighting the scourge of anti-Semitism here and all throughout the world in all of its forms.
Here, here. The honourable member